Live.
Good afternoon, Bobcat Nation. We are coming to you live here at the Preserve for another edition of the Bobcat Blitz Sports Update. I'm Shocker Patrick. Join us as always in our StreamYard studio, Mr. John Rawlings. John, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing there, Sean?
Oh, sounds like you can hear me better today.
I can. We can hear you loud and clear. And by the way, I threw Coach Fu on, so he's on screen too right now.
Oh, excellent. Well, we got a plan tonight, John. We got a couple things here. So remember last year we started a little thing where we wanted to bring other groups in.
Yep.
Besides just the athletic teams, the support groups, the things that add spice to our games. Last week we had Chief Kaipon from NJRTC and the color guard. Tonight we're going to have the marching band as well as the color guard. They're about to get started here. Once I find Miss Slay, Miss Alegria, we'll get them on here. But lots to talk about tonight. We're going to have our preseason or early season review of our always popular cross-country team with Coach Fu, one of our fan favorites here on the show. So a lot going on. John, you missed the action Friday night here at the Preserve.
I did.
Tough loss, but boy, what a debut for everybody. The RTC color guard let us off right off the bat. They looked fantastic as always. Didn't miss a step. They never do. Coach Rattler with the cheerleading team, they looked just as sharp, and they did all their cheers with construction neon vests on. I don't know how they pulled that one off. And, of course, the marching band and color guard did a fantastic job. Oh, good. Come on in, Mr. Alegria. Thank you. Come on in. So our first guest here, John, I've got Mr. Alegria. You wear many hats in this town. I'll give a little sneak peek. You do the Northport Symphony.
Not anymore, actually.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh,
no.
Scratch all that.
Where'd he go? I lost Sean. I lost him. How you doing there, Fu? I don't know why I lost him. Real quick, I'm gonna get him back on. But how are things going with you, Coach?
I think things are going well. Just starting off another year.
Nice. Well, hold on. I got him back at it. All
John.
right, you're back, Sean.
Hey, John.
That's all right. You're here now.
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're going to have him on later on the show. I got to get Mr. Alegria in because they're about to start their band practice.
Yep.
Tell Coach Fu to sit tight for a little bit, okay?
I will.
Tell him to get a nice little drink there and protein shake. Can you see Mr. Alegria?
He need right there, Mr. Alegria.
Okay.
There we go. John, I was just about to say how the marching band led us off beautifully Friday night. Usually it takes a few games to get into it, but you guys were popping from the first minute there.
Yep, we've been working hard this summer. We've been all summer long. We had our band camp, which ended up pretty good, and we've got a really, really good group of kids this year.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about their season. The kids love the show. It's called Journey, and it's going to take us through around the world a little bit. You'll see some scenes from Africa, like we saw on Friday night, but you also see some stuff from Asia, and we'll also be visiting the Middle East.
Oh, so that was just one continent.
Yes.
Friday night. We're gonna have a whole.
Yeah.
How about Antarctica? They get one.
No, they don't get. They just get. It's too
cold.
hot there.
Exactly. But yeah, you guys came in on the march. It was wonderful to see them come in. You got great parent support this year. You probably have a record for the amount of sponsors I've ever announced for a marching band. There are 2 sheets of it.
Yeah, we got a lot of sponsors this year. We have some awesome parents that know how to go out and really get those sponsors. All of our meals were donated this year, which didn't come out of our pocket, which was great. And we've got a really supportive community, so we're really happy for that.
That's fantastic. How big would you say your alliance is this year, roughly?
We're at 90 kids this year, so a little bit bigger than last year.
Excellent.
And then next year we're looking at a really big boost. So stay tuned for that for next year.
Wow. So you got 90 this year, spread out over all 4 grades? Are they top heavy, low?
Nope, it's pretty equal.
Good.
Between all 4. Yeah.
So John, I love calling the band kids out. They're just fun to watch. They have a great sense of humor. They just have a great energy to them. I always get to say goodbye to you on the way out. I get to say hi to some of them as well. So they appreciate it. And I get to do the halftime intro for those guys. It used to be parents doing that.
Yep.
But I got to do it this year. They let me have that honor as well. So pretty excited. John, I know you know something about the band, the marching band here at Northport High.
Listen, I love the Northport band, and Mr. Alegria, nice to see you out and about, and some in a different role. talk about how you're feeling right now in what you're doing and why it's important to you.
Well, you know, teaching music and music education in general is teaching our kids to be, you know, the next best contributing members to society. And that's why I do what I do. It's not to make the next best musicians, the next Mozart, the next Beethoven. It's to make our young people understand what commitment is, make them understand what it's like to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and what it means to belong to something. Because I think that we've lost some of that in our society today, and marching band is a great way for the kids to develop that kind of those life skills that are really important.
And no matter how you look at it, when I was the booster president back in 07 and 08, I looked at the football games as events. I did not look at them as games, because there are so many facets to what goes on to entertaining the people who are there for the game. They're just not there a lot of times for football, but there's the cheerleading squad, there's the marching band side of things, and there's the camaraderie that comes with all of those things, the ROTC, different sports that show up and do different things. You know, I have age on you, I know for sure. I might have a few years on Sean, but that camaraderie that you talked about, it definitely was lacking at Northport, and I don't think it was a lot to do with lacking as much as it was the youth of the school, and the school being so new when we first got there. I don't know that they really understood the concept of second or third annual events. You know, that comes with time, and we all wanted it right away as parents. But a lot of times you can't have what you want right away, but you have to build into it. The marching band program itself, it's been a program on the march ever since the school opened. Do you still feel like it's going in that same direction?
Absolutely. And I think our name gives you know, a lot of credit to that. We're the Alliance. You know, speaking to being together, and having that namesake is really unique in our area. Because we're not the Bobcat band, we're the Alliance marching band, and I think that's something that's really unique about us, and which gives us that tradition that you're talking about. Because that's what you're talking about, is having tradition. And when you're something new, it takes a while to develop that tradition, to develop that tribe, and instilling that sense of pride. And I think after COVID, and we've really started to come together, and Northport is really starting to develop that sense of pride, especially within our young people. And I've seen it as being a teacher in the area for a while. That is definitely something that's coming together.
Oh, fantastic. And I know you requested some time on the Real Talk radio show for some things you have happening, but we'll get you on that for sure. And I'm glad to see you're so active at the high school, because it is such a great opportunity, one for you, but for everyone else who's around you and understands your enthusiasm. It's a great thing to have that at Northport High School. So you have kudos and blessings all at the same time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
John, I want to go back to what you said about it being an event, not so much a game. That's why I wanted to bring marching band on early in the year, because traditionally, didn't the Alliance start off as a drum and bugle type mindset? And now we're
a drum and bugle corps, so we didn't march any woodwinds. And that was the idea of Dr. Kenny when he was here, our first principal, because he was a former band director, and drum major for a drum corps. And but we were missing out the opportunity to give our students who played woodwind instruments. I played a woodwind instrument growing up, and I had to learn a brass instrument, you know, to come and play. But this was changing over to the marching band was not a bad thing. And it really increased our numbers and increased what we could do and include our kids.
And it just sounds better.
Absolutely.
Now that you have the full complement of not just, like I said, not the really instruments there. And John, they had a cello at halftime. I even made a comment. Does that make us a symphony now? We have stringed instruments.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be The next game, you're going to see that and a little bit different too. Because what you saw before was, traditional, just acoustic cello. We got an electric cello now.
Oh, check this out.
So wait until you hear that. It just wasn't in yet. And then it came in on Monday after the game. And we're like, oh, I wish we could have had it.
So the Alliance Marching Band Symphony kind of thing. What's a symphony versus a band? I forgot.
A symphony is a full string.
Okay.
So the cello is just it's a featured instrument for us in marching band. That's just a featured instrument.
I think that's a first for this halftime show.
Absolutely.
Good for him. He did a great job, by the way. You can hear him pretty nicely. So the whole event atmosphere, as the announcer, it's just fun to watch all the pieces get together because most fans come in, they're here for the band only or for the game and maybe hear the band. I get to see it all underneath my watchful gaze there at the press box, and it's just fun to watch the dynamic of the kids having a good time.
And there's a lot of moving parts that go to it.
Really
we have to teach the kids. Like, there's a lot of kids in marching band, they don't know first thing about football. They learn through marching band real quick.
Sure.
Because, they have to tell when they get a first down, you play Let's Go Cats. And we have to train them, when to play certain things at certain times. And that's part of those moving parts, and then like at the very beginning of the game where we have to play sequence 3 and the Star Spangled Banner and all that stuff.
And, John and I, we come from big colleges. I went to UF, he's up at the Ohio State booster. So
Ohio State, yeah.
So we're used to these mega massive traditions that involve, and one of the ideas is the marching band adds so much more to and that's what I feel bad for people who don't go to college games. They don't see that on the TV. Because they have commercial breaks, but you're there. Every commercial's got a song, gets the whole crowd going. One reason why I don't do pro football is they don't have that kind of ambiance and atmosphere. So it's just a really fun thing to watch. I'm glad you came out today. What's going on today here, Coach? What do we got here?
This is it's just a regular reharsal. It's hot.
It's bad.
We checked the temperature. It feels like 107. Only 107. They can handle it. But we're just reviewing our show because we get rained out pretty often. And we have to do some Saturday rehearsals to make up for it. But right now they're learning their drill. So when they're learning their drill, it's all on counts based on the music, and they have a very specific position on the football field. We use the football field as a grid to figure out where they go. And it's a lot more complicated than people realize. The way marching band works. It's not just us saying you go here, you go here, you go here. We have a professional that coordinates all the drill for us, and we pay him very handsomely to do that. So if you ever wanted to be a marching band drill writer, it's a pretty lucrative industry. You get paid pretty well for it.
Yeah, I go on YouTube. I see the Ohio State's band. They have the same little graphics. Like how they get the people to open up their arms and there's a robot walking.
It is not easy. It is not easy. And then you have to play your music on top of it and be a good musician on top of it. So
how long does it take, say, a freshman for the first time coming out here to master their step, their cadence and all that?
4 years.
Good answer. Good answer.
I mean, there's, really all depends on their coordination. But at least a whole first full year, to get through it, because it's a whirlwind.
Yeah,
it's a whirlwind.
So, John, like I said, great to see them come out here first thing. I want them to get the kudos before we get deep into the season because we won't have another home game for another 2. We have 2 away games coming up, so it's going to be a while.
Our next home game, we're actually inviting the middle school bands to come over and play with us. So we will be massive in the stands.
Will they come on the field, little ones?
Not yet there. I don't think we're going to be quite. It's pretty early for them, so I'm not sure if we'll have them out on the field yet or not. But they will be in the stands with us.
And that's going to be Woodland Middle,
and Heron
Creek Middle. Gotcha. Yep. That's pretty. I remember them coming out each year. That's a neat thing. So yeah. You got any words for parents who are watching? Want to send their kids out here? Any suggestions for them?
Marching band is the best thing you could do for your kid if you're looking for them to have a great fresh start into high school, especially as an incoming freshman. And if they did band in middle school, it's the best way for them to get introduced to the school, make friends right away that are older, because marching band, the great thing about marching band is that we're a family. And all those kids that are, that come in as freshmen, the seniors, the upperclassmen, they just embrace them. There's none of this like hazing that goes on or anything you would think of like a typical kind of high school kind of thing. It is a full-on embrace, and they just love on those kids. And to have that kind of welcoming, so many kids will tell you, I wouldn't have survived freshman year without marching band.
Excellent.
So it's a great way. It's a great way to get involved.
Yeah. John, you got any parting comments for? They got to get going here.
No, I love the atmosphere. I always have enjoyed it. I know that you're going to do some amazing things there, and kind of put your thumb on the scale a little bit with the students. And I look forward to a lot of happiness and I think just the camaraderie and watching it like build, like the sports side of things are now doing. We got Coach Fu coming up and Garen. There's this moment in time where you realize that Northport is becoming its own. It's coming into its own, and it's just not from the marching band or athletics. It is the totality of all of it that's making this school happen right now. So great job, and kudos to everybody who's changing the atmosphere. It's needed and welcomed.
All right.
Thank you.
Again, folks, this is Mr. Alegria, part of our 2024 Alliance Marching Band. You can catch them here again 3 Fridays from now.
Yep.
It's going to be moved to a 7:30 kickoff, I'm hearing. So,
Yes, 7:30.
So we can't wait to hear your show again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'll take this from you. All right. Good job, guys. Thank you. All right.
Who's
so, John, I don't know who's next there. I can't see what's going on. So
Coach Boo's been in the green room the longest.
Okay, we'll put Coach. We'll do that there. So, real quick before we get to Coach Boo while he's transitioning here, guys, we got a lot of stuff coming here this week. This week, John, we already had we had 3 volleyball games. We had cross country doing really good there at the Lemon Bay on Saturday. We had boys and girls golf, as well as this Friday game. We've already had a strong week, and that's just the first week of the season. And it's not stopping until, I believe, last year, the state wrestling tournament was the last, sanctioned an event before the practice games and all that. So we're going to be going a long ways. So it was fun. I had a great time. I did both volleyball games and the football game, so I was there for 3 nights of the week. So a couple things online. If you get a chance, go on down to Jersey Mike's in Northport. I want to thank them again. They're stepping up this year. They're doing that CATS Award. If you remember last year, the CATS Award, the CATS stood for a different attribute that we're looking for in our student athletes. This week, Nash Hudgens, our starting center, he gets it for competitiveness, being all in, toughness, and stamina. So Nash leads us off with the first award of this year's Northport Jersey Mike Student Athlete of the Week. Congratulations there, Nash. And while I got one more time, Rachel, got to give a shout out, John, at Beef O'Brady's. New management, new atmosphere, new everything there. They stepped up. They fed me and everybody else in the press box. They're going to do so the rest of the season. I give a shout out to Rachel here at Northport Beef O'Brady's for helping us out. All right, is Coach Fu ready?
He is, but one quick note about next Tuesday. Can you update everybody on what's happening next Tuesday?
Yeah, I got the call today or yesterday that at the Northport, the PAC, they're going to have the Performing Arts Center. They're going to have a night for senior parents to come out. So we starting at 6 o'clock. They're going to go over pretty much the whole year what's going to be coming our way as parents. I'm going to that because I have a daughter who's a senior, so I will not be able to do the show. It's at the exact same time, unfortunately. So we're going to skip a week. The rest of the days are filled up with different obligations, so we're not going to have a show next week. But parents, if you're a senior parent, and we know your seniors don't talk to you about these things, they're going to have a meeting for you. You can come out and see our graduation, scholarship opportunities, all sorts of stuff going on.
And we really don't want to draw away from that. We want the parents to participate in it. We want all the other parents to realize these things happen, and it's for the good of the athlete, good of the student athlete. And it's really, I think Coach Fu can even add something in on this too. It's imperative that the parents get involved, and not only as a senior, but get involved early and often. Coach, I'm gonna throw it back at you just for a second and kind of let you talk about senior night and what that means from a coach's standpoint.
Oh, for me, it's kind of a joyful moment and a sad moment because, you're super proud of your kids that you've been basically coaching and leading them for 4 years and happy for them, but then at the same time, it is sad when you lose a senior. And it happens every year. And something a coach and a teacher has to just get used to. But very important, senior year is a very big year for athletes and students Obviously, band members, our students, ROTC, anything. Senior year is a very big year.
It is. It is. And we've talked about this over the years. You've been at the school a long time. We won't go into that again, but you know, the student athlete and the coaches, there's a great relationship and a great rapport that happens. As an ex-athlete myself through school, I still talk about my high school, my junior high school coaches. Mr. Keg would be overjoyed if he realized that how much I talk about him today. And that was junior high track coach, and I just happened to be talking to one of those, and there's a huge camaraderie that goes into the student athlete and the coaching staff, and the parents. If you're not involved, you're missing out on an opportunity to see those things and the growth of the student athlete. Can you highlight some of that for the parents that are out there that may not see this, may not understand the networking that goes on?
Well, the one thing, especially in my sport, we're not a crowd favorite. Honestly, we don't have spectators, we don't have stands and bleachers. But I've seen kids that we might borderline say that don't have any business being on cross country come out from cross country, stick it out for 3 or 4 years, and just the look on their face when they finish the race. It's just the parents need to see that. That is just something amazing. Right? You don't have to win a state championship to be successful in any sport.
Right. And so what's happening in your sport today? What do you have going on in cross country right now?
Well, we're starting the season off. We just had our first beat last Saturday. It's a rough going. It's not. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We lost 4 of our top 5 runners. 5 runners make up varsity squad. We lost our top 4. So you take 80% your starter on any sport, you know that's tough to come back from. But my team's young, and we're going to battle with what we got, and hopefully our goals this year is to make it to regionals. And it might be a lofty goal, but nothing's going to stop these guys. They are dialed in, and they're going to work hard to try to get it. I can't speak for the girls' team because obviously Coach Duque is the girls' coach, but they should be pretty exciting to watch this year.
And we're having trouble hearing you just a tad bit, so I don't know if you can turn up the volume a little bit or reposition. But I can hear you. It's just not crisp. How about that?
All right, let's see if I.
While we're waiting for a guy, we're saying you're 24 Alliance watching me today. I feel an echo.
So did you? All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. So things are going well, right?
Yeah, I don't know where I left off, but as for the boys' team, like I said, we're just young. We've lost a lot of our talent. We lost our top 4 runners, and that's hard to replace in any sport. But cross country, that's very important. Poor fast guys graduating or not coming back. But my team is young, and as you know from your past, they won't not work. They will work their butts off, and we're not. We have our backs against the wall, but we will fight this season to earn the respect.
And you run a very tough program, and I'm getting some feedback for some reason. I'm going to kind of remove Sean off here. I'm going to see if that's. So I've got Sean off. I'm still getting a little feedback on my behalf, but talk about your focus on what you do with those athletes, like a year like this year, where you're coming out of the gate with some younger athletes, and you're trying to build that camaraderie and that confidence in their running style because you're teaching that too, right?
Right. Well, our focus this year is just to be dependable. You know, um, we don't have a lot of guys on the team, so we're trying to be more dependable. With everyone has to be held accountable. Um, oh, I lost you there.
That's up. You're good. You're good. I had you on the screen by yourself.
All right. So I'm just teaching these guys. Just you have to be a man that people can depend on,
Yep.
and that's how we're going into this year, because we are a very small team. We don't have high numbers, and if one guy goes down, if one guy doesn't run well, if one guy doesn't show up, that's not being dependable, and that's a lesson I'm trying to teach them. You have to be a man that people can depend on.
Right. And all those things come into coaching at some point in your career. Would you consider this to be one of the I don't want to say difficult because I don't think any coach likes the word difficult. I think there's mountains to move. Uh, this is a moment where the team kind of has to recognize each man has to step up and count on each other. And you can still grow this team.
Yeah, I've gotten 2 new runners today. When the school year starts, we usually have a handful of kids coming and joining late because they don't know about cross country. But the main core guys, you're right. Like these are the guys I have to count on, and they take to it. They know that, and and it's a for the young guys, it's a great learning experience. Like I know we are a minor sport, but now you have a chance to be a starter or a superstar, and they're taking to it.
Right. Absolutely. I'm going to bring Sean back on. I know he can barely hear you, and we're doing this together here. But I'm going to bring Sean. Do you have any questions? And just so you know, Sean, when you talk with
Yeah.
that new microphone you have, you do not have to project. If you can bring
Oh,
it
okay.
down, you'll
Oh,
be
I'm so used to cranking it out. So
even less, even less.
even less. All right. So Fu, a couple of things. We're doing a little bit backwards here. We started off with the seniors making way down here. I brought you on early because you always had a great program, even if our numbers are up and down. Not just the results of our meets, but just the feedback from the kids, especially the feedback from the teams that come down here for the Northport Invite in a couple of weeks. It's not just did you guys place in the top 5 this week or not. It's just a really good program. You got a lot of Northport runners who love watching you from a distance here as well. What do you have planned for this big one coming up in a few weeks, the big Northport Invite? Tell everybody what's so special about this year.
The big one is it's the 20th annual Northport Invite. So big 2-0.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. Um, Same thing. I'm hoping to be a nice big event. There will be a surprise that I can't tell on the show, but I can tell you guys in person. But it's going to be a special event.
Fantastic. Uh, I know we're definitely struggling to hear you. So
Let me try again.
I don't know what's up with your connection, but it's tough. Um,
Sorry.
you're just
Oh, there you
are you there?
That's much better.
That much better?
Oh, much
Yeah.
better.
Oh my gosh, great.
So say it again, Fu, about the 20th. And first of all, your invite's older than your runners.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's the 20th annual Northport Invite. We pride ourselves being the largest on-campus cross-country meet in the state of Florida. Um, I, I host this meet, and you can ask any other teams. Like Sean's been there. I host this meet to have a nice, competitive, but fun meet for the kids. I want the
Yeah.
kids to have fun and enjoy themselves. So that's why teams keep coming back.
Yeah.
Well, you do a great job, Coach, and everybody knows it. And I think you've got the reputation throughout the state at this point
Right.
on running one of the best events.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we actually have 4 races at Northport this year. We're hosting, and it's rare to even see a school host a cross country meet. But to see a school host 4 cross country meets is kind of crazy. But we're hosting tri counties. That's Manatee, Sarasota, Northport, or no, Charlotte County. That we're hosting a night meet again, and we won the bid to host regional here at Northport.
Oh man.
Fantastic.
And on top of that, I think we got okay, but we are doing a zombie 5K on Halloween here too.
Really?
Yes. So
Wow.
the runners will dress up as the zombies. The VPA or the Art Honor Society might be the one that's decorating our runners to look like zombies, and the runners will have flags like flag football flags, and if you run the race and finish with your flags, you win a medal that says "I survived the zombie 5K."
That's fantastic. What made you come up with that idea?
Oh, we hosted a night meet last year, and it was just fantastic. The atmosphere, just it was a great time. And I thought if I told the kids like, "Hey, we could keep the lights up and just do like a zombie race," and everyone, especially my son, who's a senior runner this year, thought it was the greatest idea, and they were just kept pushing me. Like I didn't take it seriously, but they kept pushing me to let's host that, let's host that. I was like, all right, we'll do it, and I'm pretty sure we got their approval today, actually, and we'll see.
That's fantastic. It's I think it's really cool to have the events that you host. On the other hand, when you can get creative with them and you can have a good time, they're memorable. They were memorable before, but the zombie event, it's going to be talked about for a long time.
Right.
So that's cool.
And like I said, I'm combining athletics and VPA, the Visual Performing Arts, together to do this fundraiser.
How do you like that as far as the camaraderie goes when you do things like that with other programs in the school?
Uh, it hasn't happened often. I do get the marching band come out to the Northport Invite, and the drum line comes out and just they just play those drums for the runners, and the runners say they love it to just hear the pounding of the
Yeah.
drums as they run. So I always took pride in that. Not that I had a drum line, that I incorporated a drum line with an athletic event, and I always took pride in that. And now it's being copied too, by the way, in other meets.
Well, and I'll tell you, my last marathon was many decades ago at this point, but I still talk about it today when I ran through German Village and the theme of Rocky was being played. I still remember how I felt going into that area and leaving that area, and talk. That was a recorded song at that point, not live music, not the inspiration that you get off of people being there.
The energy from those drums.
It's amazing. So I
Yeah.
got to tell you, what you're doing is setting the world on fire for memories way down the road, because they're still going to be talking about Coach Fu and what Coach Fu did for them in high school, and that's the richness of what you've brought for 20 plus years now at Northport High
Yeah.
School.
I
So
appreciate that.
great job.
I have when you're saying that, it was interesting because this summer I got a phone call from a former runner, kind of like you talking about with your former coach, and he's actually going to be inducted to our Hall of Fame at homecoming. He was part of our 4x8 team that got runner-up at states. And he just called me up. He's at UCF right now. And he called me up and he told me that he had to do this thing with his church that besides God and your parents, who's the biggest influence in your life? And he said it was me. But then he said, you know what? I need to let Coach Fu know this too. So he called me up and told me that story, and I was like, that beats anything. That beats me to say, oh, we got top 5 at this meet, or we won this meet. No, that right there was one of the best moments I had.
Well, I got to tell you, you just told the story that I tell all the time about
Right.
Mr. Keg, because I saw Mr. Keg walking past it, and this is old school. I got to go way back old school and talk about the phone booth at the courthouse in downtown Columbus, Ohio, which I don't think is there anymore because I don't know that there's phone booths anywhere. But
Wow.
I saw his walk. So I saw tennis shoes through the glass of the phone booth, and I knew who it was by his walk. And I went out. I was in college at that point, and I went out and told him the same exact thing. And I know what it felt like as an athlete to be able to tell that to my coach. So I know what your athlete felt like when he told you. And I also know the pride that you felt because Mr. Keg has never let me forget that I told him that and that I wrote articles about him. You're going to be an influence for a lot of kids. And I got to tell you, I've been there probably since your start. And there's no better follow. There's no better follow. You're doing a great job and a lot of pride. So kudos across the board.
Thank
you
you.
got many more accolades coming your way over the next 25, 30 years. You're going to be at Northport. I'm locking you in long term. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a couple things for you, Coach. So 20 years, that's pretty cool. Let's go back to the night run we're going to have with the Halloween theme to it. If you remember correctly, we did the night run before, and I said, "Foo, we got to do something for Halloween." So I'm going to get half the credit for that. I know the kids said it, but I'm like, we got to do this. Is that open to the public, or is that just for the high school kids?
For the public.
Oh, for the public. Okay.
It's not high school. It's a fundraiser for the cross country team and the VPA.
Gotcha.
So
can they have walkers as well, or just runners only?
You got walkers, but
That'll open up quite a bit.
My zombies, my runners are going to be instructed to walk, so they're not going to be chasing people down.
Oh, I like this.
So they're going to be instructed to walk like zombies. So if I let them run, obviously it's going to be everyone's flag's going to get pulled off. But no, they're going to be instructed to be zombies. So walkers are welcome, but they might get their flags pulled.
They better walk fast. Right, exactly. I love it. So, yeah, the marching band thing, I was going to tell you, my very first, I didn't do distance running until I got older. I still doing team sports. My very first run for a 5K was in my 20s. I was over in Fort Lauderdale with the Panthers play their hockey. They had music every half mile. So having that music, when I come around for our event with my cart and the band's ready to go, I knock that horn, the bell, and man, they are just going. Kids love it. So I'm really glad they're going to come back again this year for it. So real quick, on the Saturday, you had your first event over at Lemon Bay. You had some pretty good results there on both the men's and women's team. I know you said the numbers are a little bit down this year, but experience-wise, that's okay. How did they like that first time out on the blocks going against other schools besides themselves?
I hated it.
They hated it.
Lemon Bay was halfway underwater.
Oh, true cross country.
Yeah.
Steeplechase.
The first meet, we had a lot of wet shoes and socks, and there were lots of miles, but the times obviously weren't the best. But it was a good opener. You want a tough opener to get the season going.
Yeah. So did anybody lose their shoes? They have to duct tape around their ankles.
I think a few people lost their shoes.
Oof.
None of them on our team. I saw a couple of girls running with shoes in their hands. So, but none of the runners on our team lost their shoes. I don't believe.
And I'm going to give a shout out real quick. If I remember correctly, our overall Northport High School boosters, you have some of your your cross country parents on that. I believe, aren't they the officers?
Yeah,
are going to be officers.
Adrian and Scott Quick. Scott's the new VP. Adrian is the treasurer, and their son is a sophomore that runs for me.
Excellent.
They're great. They're great people, hardworking people, and I miss Kristen and Troy, but I'm glad that they got replaced by great workers too.
You know, we talked all year last year, John and I, about the importance of getting parent involvement. And tonight we talked about earlier with the seniors, of course. But can you imagine if just every sport had one parent on the boosters? We've 20 plus teams with JV, you know, girls, boys, JVs, divisions, you name it, there's 20 something teams. What a difference that would make. So I'm really, well, again, I want to congratulate you getting your parents out there for the boosters this year. I do know them from the track and field days. I'll try to see them again for the cross country. So
yeah, like they come out to every meet and help out.
Mhm.
You know that.
Yeah.
So
So real quick, I'll let John finish you up here. So I'm really excited about this year. I didn't know we were having all these events. You have to give me that calendar again. I gotta go adjust my calendar, but I can't wait. If you let me do the lead card again, you know how much I love doing it that day.
Mhm.
So and the day before now.
right.
Well, and
Right.
I want to end with this. What's your next meet and your next home meet?
Our next meet is this weekend at Lakewood Ranch, and this is their first meet that they've hosted since 2004.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting to see how they run it. And our home meet will be the Northport Invite, which is September 20 and 21st. The 21st being the big event.
Absolutely.
What's the 20th, Fu? Want to tell her what that is? It's a Friday now. What goes on Friday? The
So
smaller day.
the 20th is middle school and usually sometimes smaller schools, but a lot of schools, not a lot, but a handful of schools travel from far away just so they can run our course on Friday, and then they use it as like a little getaway. Because I know one team from Kissimmee,
Wow.
every year he comes down, runs Friday night, then they stay at Toto and go to the beach on the Saturday morning.
That's
Pretty
nice.
cool.
Yeah,
So-
so it's nice that there's teams traveling. Like our night meet, we have St. Thomas Aquinas and
I
Brad
remember that. Yeah.
from Miami already signed up for this year's night race. So it's kind of feels good when a team will go out of their way to travel to our high school.
Dude, that's not even funny because that smile on your face should tell everything. Because to have that happen, the question isn't did you plan for it? Did you think about it when you started this, that schools would come out of Miami to come up to this event? Did you like build this thinking that was going to happen, or did you just start working on it and it just took off?
We've had schools from Miami come before to invite, and my invite happens to fall on the same day as the Spanish River invite, which is the big meet on the other coast. So we don't get too many schools from that coast coming over here when they have a big meet for themselves to go to in their backyard. But the night meet, when there's no scheduling conflict, like last year, I think we had 3 or 4 teams from the Air Coast come over. They just told me that they love running on our course, they love our meets, but you know, the schedule don't work out during the invite, but it works out for the night meet.
Nice.
And I'm glad to have them any meet.
Yep, 100%. That's awesome. Great
So
job.
parents, if you're watching, Coach Fu always could use volunteers. We can put you on the course to help out. We can put you at the water stations. You just reach out to us. We can help relay it to you guys. We always need spotters. You name it. We got a position for anybody out there. You don't have to know anything at all about running. Just need some adult bodies out there to help us out. So we'd love to have you come out there. And our Facebook page, we have the sponsorship for that event. It's not too late to be. Not only can you help with volunteering, but you also help advertise as well. They have an electronic billboard, I believe, for that event. So go on our Facebook page, help out Coach Fu in this wonderful, always positive program. No yelling, but except the fun yelling. No screaming at kids for doing wrong things. So it's a really nice atmosphere. Coach, thank you as always. True friend of the show. We love having you on here. We'll have Coach Duque later on in the season. He can talk about the girls program as well.
And if you want me to come back before the big invite,
I would love you to. I want to get you on today. We're guaranteed we got you on today. So I want to make sure everybody knows you're going. But yeah, we'd love to have you come out for that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach
Thank
Fu.
you,
Appreciate that.
thank you.
John, that was Coach Fu. Again, a good friend of ours. I've been working with him off and on for several years now. And not sure if Coach Bells is ready to go, but I do want to announce something. 2 Saturdays from now, here at the City Green in Northport, we're going to have the Remember the Fallen 5K. I don't know what year they're on. They've been doing it for several years now.
Yep.
Big event for the city. I know it's not Newport High School cross country because they'll be running somewhere else, but we will have Newport High School students. Proud to say they're going to help volunteer this year. We're going to have RTC stepping up. We can reach out to Chief. They're going to have some kids out there. I'm hearing we'll have our color guard at that event, so that'd be a great sight to see. I'll be there. I volunteer as well as I run it. Guys, if you've never been to it, it's really it's a bittersweet event. You know, that's the color guard, honor guard of the fire department. They host it every year in commemoration of all of the brothers they've lost and sisters they've lost during 9/11. And it's just a really neat event. They got the big flag on the fire truck coming out. They've got people running. They've got people running in their actual fire gear. They also will hold their oxygen tanks and full boots. They're not putting on Nikes. They're running full gear. Super hot day for those guys. I don't know how they do it. And afterwards, they have the bagpipes come out and they do a moment of silence. It's just a really interesting event to come out to if you've never done. Even if you're going to spectate, it'd be great to have you come out and watch and see all that. So that's 2 Saturdays from now. I'll post the link on how to register for that. And again, you can reach out to volunteer as well if you'd like to do that. So that's
and don't forget that next Tuesday's show, we will not be airing because it's senior night at the high school.
for the parents.
Keep that in mind. So we are going to skip next Tuesday and then fly right into the following Tuesday. So looking forward to that. And I've got Coach Guerin.
Oh, good, Coach.
Yep. How's it going, guys?
Hey, Coach. Thanks for joining us here.
Cool.
So we just had Coach Fu on talking about cross country. They've already started. They had their first meet on Saturday. You guys had your first home game here, taking on Parish Community. Not the result we wanted, but from a fan, and it's a different perspective because you have the hard job. We get the fun, easy job of enjoying the moment and the ambiance. Did you hear the student section this year? They looked really good Friday night.
No, yeah, them and the band did great.
Good. It was neon night. They had themes again. They're going to have Hawaiian night as they go to Charlotte. They were asking fans wear their Hawaiian clothes to the Charlotte game on Friday. So I'm not going to talk too much about the Parish one. I do want to talk about the Charlotte game coming up Friday. Coach, I don't know if you ever played against Charlotte. I had to go back in time and look on Max Preps on when we stopped that series.
I did.
It's been a while. Oh, you have. It's been a while. Yeah.
Well, at that time, they had an incredible player, Mike Bellamy, who played at Clemson for a little bit. He was
I know that name. Sure. He also was a great track and field. Yeah. He also did track and field too. He's a speed runner. Yeah. So what can you tell us about this game? We're picking up at least for this year. Pretty exciting for me as a fan.
No, I know our kids are excited. It was kind of part of our plan on scheduling. We wanted to get more local teams, and they were a local team. That's a district playoff, district winner, and they were a playoff team, and we wanted to strengthen the schedule, and, that was part of it. And the fact that it's a 30-minute drive and we have history with the program, I thought, it's a perfect time to try to get back with them.
Gotcha. Are we slated to have a home and away with them, or just going down to 1 year?
No. This is definitely a 2-year. We'll see them at home next year. But we got to travel down the fishbowl this year, and it's pretty excited myself. I know the kids are ready to go.
Good. So, having said all that, again, we had the loss Friday. But what did you pick up that's going to benefit this game coming up against Charlotte? That was a tough team to play to start with. You didn't take on some easy team to get everybody feeling good about themselves. You took on a hard Paris team.
Well, this is going to the Charlotte game, our 3rd consecutive playoff team we're facing. So that was the whole point of it. We didn't go in telling our kids like, all right, this is just going to be easy, and these are untalented football teams. Like, they're well-coached teams, that have some history. Parish, still relatively young, but their head coach is doing really good things over there. He's a good dude. They coached their ass off in that game, especially in the second half, and their players played hard. They earned it. But I think we learned a lot of things about ourselves. I could tell you a bunch of generic jargon, but I think our kids, again, I hate that we have to do this, but it seems like we have to have that wake-up call week 1 every year.
Right.
And, if that's what we got to go through to get them to, realize that we can't take any team lightly because of who we are scheduling now. It's, trying to flip it into positive, and I think the players responded well this week.
Coach, from a distance here, again, I'm not a coach, so I'm just going to give you my amateur assessment. You had that early pick six again years ago. That would have been meltdown by everybody, but the team stuck with it. The half actually ended pretty close. You're
It was
driving towards the end of the
7-3.
game. That beautiful pass, unfortunately, it ended up being a fumble. So you had it wasn't as big a spread a difference in the game, believe it or not. It was a much closer game than what that 24-3 really is indicative of. So again, as a fan, I saw a lot of good in that game. Again, I
There
know.
is, but
Yeah,
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but
yeah, it's fine.
I think the biggest negatives is the fact that again another game we were highly penalized, and that's
Yeah,
reflected, on our discipline, which is frustrating because we preach it so much.
yeah,
That and just near the end, we had some guys losing their cool and they were doing stupid stuff, which win or loss, we can't be those guys. That's the
yeah,
stupid nonsense that we did years and years ago. That okay, there's Northport, it's a tough game, but eventually they'll lose their cool and screw it up for themselves.
right.
And that's the vibe I got, and I've communicated that, and I hope they understand that they're a talented
Yeah,
group of players that are beyond better than what they've presented the past week. So I think that they'll respond pretty well, and they're
good.
ready to go out there and do some good things.
How's your health report so far going out of that game? I know we didn't want to talk about the young man until we got family permission. So how's that gentleman doing?
Oh, he's doing great. He was back home that evening. He's been out of
Yeah,
it the past couple days, obviously recovering. I think it was more of a muscle trauma. There wasn't anything,
good.
nothing long term. He should be cleared by Friday to get
Well,
back, not
excellent.
for the game, but cleared
Right.
to get back into things in terms of practice. But yeah, no, he came out and we came out on the good end of things in terms of worst case scenario.
And Coach, 2 games in a row now. The other team is cramping up quite a bit, and I barely saw it out of us. We must have some great hydration strategies going into these
Well,
games.
I think Debbie keeps us well watered with the water cows going and water bottles near us. I
Yeah,
I'd like to attribute to the fact that we practice hard, which we do, and
yeah,
early on in camp and at the end of summer, we were put an emphasis on conditioning and these types of weather
excellent.
conditions that are presented. So, I think that we do anything in our power to be preventative, and as long as they listen,
Yeah.
we usually come out
I'm,
on the good
I
end
tell
of
you,
it.
Coach, I'm talking get a game out of it. It's been like 15 away team or opposing teams down for stretching, and we've had like 0. So it's not even close. So great job on that on the preventive side. We're going to get Miss Slay on later on here and Miss Nelson as well, and they gave me a little hint that they're going to keep doing a little special program with you. Do you want to give us a little tease on what that is about with Miss Slay and Miss Nelson?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of conditioning and getting in shape here and
Yeah,
safety.
so every 2 weeks and this coming week, we'll have our first day with them.
Wow,
Our players in our first period weightlifting class, it's all football guys. We'll take them down to the studio and go through stretching and certain ballet moves. And I think it gives us a little bit of a diversity. And first time we did it last spring, the kids had a really good time with it. So,
good.
yeah, and I was doing some of that stuff as well, and I was hurting. They were fine, but I was I was in pain for a day or two.
Yeah. So I remember last year we thought it was just a temporary thing. So you're gonna try to incorporate more of it. That's great to hear. Again, the results out there, well documented. You just go to a Google search, kids, look up famous NFL players who did ballet. You'll see a ton of some pretty fast and pretty tough dudes out there who did ballet, not just the '80s, but to this day they're still doing it.
Yes, sir.
And obviously the yoga stretching you're talking about and the other athletic stretching. So I'm glad to hear that. We'll try to get video of it throughout the year. Couldn't quite get them out today. So anything you want to tell us about this game coming up we should know about? Anybody we should be looking for? Any special players or what we're going to do for them? Give me a little pregame analysis here to help me out on my show.
The game is going to be what it is. There's going to be, I think, natural tension. I think the kids are going to get caught up in stuff that doesn't really matter, which
Yeah,
I'm hoping they avoid. And we have been telling these guys all week, like, please don't make this about you and you wanting to talk crap to somebody or wanting to look like a big boy in front of everyone. Like,
yeah.
no one cares. Prove it on the field. Or they're just going to assume we're the same old team that's been floating around doing nothing for years. All right.
A lot of these kids probably played junior ball together too, or overlapped in tournaments at least.
Oh no, there's a few guys that are quite familiar with who they'll be
Yeah.
playing against. That's for sure. But I think that again, if we do the right things, we execute, we keep it a clean game, and again, we do our end on the coaching side. Ideally, it comes out on the right side.
And
But I know our kids don't
fan
need any
wise,
motivation.
fan wise, they're going to have a packed home crowd. That's a small town. They all come out and support their Tarpons. There's no excuse away crowd. We're only half an hour away. We need to get as many Bobcat fans in that away section.
I hope they're all there.
Yeah.
I hope everybody is there. I hope the whole town is there.
No port of them, or both.
No, both. But
yeah.
No,
I think it's going to be a packed stadium. I do. I believe it's going to be really filled up to capacity. So, John, you there? I'm going to let Coach go. It's getting time for him to eat his Wheaties and get ready for tomorrow.
I'm actually eating a canola.
Definitely here listening.
John, you got final comments for Coach? I'm going to let him go with all the questions. I don't mean to drive him crazy.
I'm just going to tell you good luck and hang in there and do your thing. And the athletes need to listen, and they need to listen well, because you can only change the winning ways if you change your ways.
Yes, sir.
And I like how you're talking. There's no reason to talk crap when you don't have a right. Prove it on the field and keep it forever.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
good luck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. I'll see you Friday. I'll be there. Fans, we'll be there Friday night. I'll be broadcasting that game. We'll have it on Bobcat Blitz Sports Update. Figure on 15 minutes before kickoff. I forgot if it's 7 or 7:30. I'll be there 15 minutes at a time with our little pregame show. So again, John, I want to thank you for having an episode tonight. Again, we're not going to have an episode next Tuesday. We're going to take a week off because I'll be at the parent night for seniors. Again, parents, I want you to show up. They're going to have all sorts of information in the pack, nice and air conditioned. They're going to talk about graduation requirements, the different dances, all the packages they have for the seniors, project graduation, post high school life, be it military, trade, collegiate, whatever the case may be. So I'll be there Tuesday night starting at 6 o'clock. So no show next Tuesday.
Share and like the page. Share and like the page. Our goal is 1,000 followers this year. So we're well on our way, but
we're getting there. Yep.
300 more to go at least. So share and like the page. Encourage other parents and other people who are interested in Northport athletics and so much more, because we don't just focus here. We do a lot of connecting with our youth athletics all the way through the year. So hang with us. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show. Sean, I will say this, a little bit of feedback on your microphone. Where is it placed at?
Here, we'll do a little. How about that? Is that a little better down here?
You need to have it on your hip, not underneath.
John, I'm so used to talking this loud everywhere I go in the school.
Right wherever you're holding it, I can hear you just fine.
There we go. I'm holding it
so if it's on your belt loop, you're going to be in great shape.
There we go. Sounds good. I appreciate the tip because we're going to use these microphones Friday night. So, all righty, guys. On behalf of everyone here at the Bobcat Blitz Sports Update, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We will see you 2 Tuesdays from now. Don't forget Friday night pregame at Charlotte High School for varsity football.
Fantastic.
Take care.
Thank you.